I'm going to focus on the two parts that are in basic conflict that keep you stuck, that are the symptoms of having a lost heart. And the third dimension of you that is the pathway to liberation, freedom, growth, and your best life. My name is Dr. Glenn Berger, and I want to welcome you to the series of these Heart Finders videos, where I combine my 30 years of experience as a therapist and coach with timeless wisdom and cutting-edge science to understand the secrets of human nature, how to get unstuck and live your best life. If you like what you see here, subscribe, like, and come join my online Heart Finders self-cultivation course at the link below. You are stuck, but you're not meant to be. You are meant to have a successful, fulfilled life. You're stuck because you're not living from your essential self, which I'm calling the heart. When you have a lost heart, you have negative self-judgment, fear and anxiety, a lack of motivating energy, a pessimistic view of the future, a resistance to learning, and shame. When you find your heart, you have self-compassion and patience, courage, strength, an optimistic, faith-filled imagination, wisdom, and self-love. With those attributes, you can get anything you want in life. Now, in order to find the heart, you need to understand, accept, embrace, and live in harmony with the heavenly mandate, or the universal laws of reality, and the laws of your own human nature. Now, in this lesson, we're going to answer the question, why is it so hard to get unstuck? Why is it hard to find the lost heart? And how do we make it easy? The big secret here is that a central reason you stay stuck is because you have inner conflict. This inner conflict is also a primary source of your emotional pain. You're a house divided within yourself. And remember what Abraham Lincoln said, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." Inner conflict. Now that kind of means there's more than one of you inside of yourself, and that these different, people-ish things inside of you are fighting with each other. Now that sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? You think you're you, and now I'm saying there's more than one of you? Now, you've all probably heard about what we used to call multiple personalities. There are some movies about this. Sybil, The Three Faces of Eve. And there are very rare cases of this where a person goes to their closet and finds clothes they don't remember buying, and people stop them on the street and call them different names, and sometimes they're Susie and at other times they're Jason. But let's say that's all the way on one end of a spectrum and almost never happens. For most of us, we're at the other end of the spectrum. We have different identities in the world, right? I mean, we act one way at work and another with our friends. But this is a little different than that. I'll give you an example of what I mean. You tell yourself to go to the gym, but you end up not going. Then you get mad at yourself. Well, so there's the person who wants to go, the person who doesn't go, and the person who gets mad at the person who doesn't go. You see what I mean? Now, it's been recognized by the wise from Plato to Freud that we have different parts of the self that do not always get along very well. Every observer of this truth gave different names to these different parts. Plato said there were three parts: the monster, the lion, and the person. Freud said there was the ego, the id, and the superego. In transactional analysis, the creator called the three parts the parent, the child, and the adult. Fritz Perls, who invented Gestalt therapy, called it the top dog underdog game. Now, there's a whole school of psychotherapy called internal family systems, stating that there are untold numbers of subpersonalities that are a part of us. And there's probably some truth to that. Let's call these subpersonalities mini-yous. Though there may be many, I'm going to focus on the two parts that are in basic conflict that keep you stuck, that are the symptoms of having a lost heart. And the third dimension of you that is the pathway to liberation, freedom, growth, and your best life. The third part, well, it's actually not a part. It's that in you that unifies the self into a totality, into a whole. It's that in you which solves, transcends the problem of the divided self. And you guessed it, that's the heart. The two parts, or mini yous, that are in endless conflict, that are a symptom of having a lost heart, and that keep you stuck, I call the tyrant and the rebel. The noise of these parts battling within you is what obscures the voice of the heart, which, if you could only hear it, would free you. So let's go back to that example of the mini you that wants to go to the gym and the mini you that doesn't go, to illustrate the basic fight between the tyrant and the rebel. Now, I'm going to guess that any one of you who is stuck has had some version of this fight within yourself. So let's say you think it would be a good idea to go to the gym. You say to yourself, you should really go to the gym, you lazy piece of garbage. But you stay on the couch and say, I know you're right, but I don't feel like it right now. I'll go later. Then you don't go, and instead, you find yourself at the fridge eating that gallon of Ben & Jerry's fish food. You stay up till 2:30 in the morning, watching TikToks of people doing stupid things. You finally fall asleep, only to wake up 3 hours later with acid reflux. The next morning, when your alarm goes off, you wake up feeling horrible, and you yell at yourself. What the hell is wrong with you? You say to yourself. You'll never get your shit together. Why even try? You'll always fail. Then you roll over, hit the snooze alarm, and pull the covers over your head. The second time that alarm goes off, you reach for your weed vape and take a few pulls. You sleep half the day away, and when you finally can't sleep anymore, you beat yourself up some more, telling yourself what a loser you are. And to quiet those mean voices in your head, you vape some more weed while scrolling on your phone. Now maybe you have some other story, but I think you get the point. So you see, there are at least two of you. There's one who wants to go to the gym, wants to eat right, wants to go to sleep at a reasonable hour, wants to get up and get stuff done during the day, and the other who doesn't go, who eats the ice cream, stays up too late, stays in bed too long, and smokes too much weed. Then you get into a fight with yourself, or at least these two parts get into a fight. One says, you really should do blah blah blah, and the other says, I know, you're right, but I have a cramp in my big toe, and I'll get back to you a week from last Tuesday. Now the problem is, you've had this fight with yourself 1,000,000 times, and it never resolves. And another word for this endless back and forth where nothing ever changes and you can't figure a way out? Stuckness. So you see, your stuckness isn't a thing, it's a dynamic process. That means it's something that happens in a relationship. You need couples therapy for yourself. The two mini-yous don't like each other. They don't get along. They can't figure out a way to resolve their differences. They're stuck. And once you realize this, then you're going to say to me, all right, I get it. But what do I do? Because you can't figure out a way out of this eternal struggle. And that's what I'm going to help you with. I'm going to teach you everything you need to end this core conflict, to free yourself of stuckness, to find, free, and develop your best self, and for your life to become easy, because it'll be so easy to do what you know is the right thing, and then to feel great about yourself. And that will build on itself, and everything will move, and you'll grow, and you'll start to have success in your life in all different kinds of ways. Now, I'm going to make a bet that you don't believe me when I say that. Am I right? Do you know why? Well, just notice that for now. I'll get back to that. I'll start by giving you one basic secret about this thing. There's this idea that comes from Indian philosophy called Maya, which means illusion. One definition is that Maya is the lack of knowledge of the real self, where you mistakenly think that you are these sub-personalities, these mini-yous. You mistakenly believe that these voices are speaking the truth, but really, they're just loud voices in your head, but that doesn't make them real, and it doesn't mean that they speak the truth. So the first thing to notice is that both of these voices in your head that you think of as you, they're both, and together, an illusion. We think it's reality, but it's not. Now the truth is, you can't resolve this argument because the purpose of these two parts is to keep the conflict going and the stuckness to persist. But there is a solution. Since those two parts of you are illusion, the solution to the problem is not for those two parts to resolve their problem. It is to get those two parts, when you fully and truly recognize their fundamental unreality, when you realize this is a cosmic dance of foolishness that can't be resolved, the answer is to get these two parts to dissolve. You can't resolve, but you can dissolve. Let that wander around your brain for a minute. How do you do that? Great question. So, if in Indian philosophy they see these conflicting voices in your head, these sub-personalities, these mini-yous as illusion, as Maya, what then is this real self that they're talking about? Now, one of the greatest books of ancient wisdom that I've referred to before is called the Upanishads. I'd recommend you check it out. Now, in that book, it said, quote, "Smaller than a grain of sand, larger than the sky, Atman lives in your heart." Atman is the name for the divine within, or your true self. So there it is again, in another culture. There is the real self, hidden, obscured by the endless yapping of these two tricksters. And guess what I call that real, true, authentic, essential self? The heart. So along with the tyrant and the rebel, who I'm about to describe in detail, there is the real you that's hidden by these illusory parts. The heart is the real self underneath the illusion that we're spellbound by. In order to learn how to dissolve the illusion and find the heart, we need to deepen our awareness of these warring parts within us. In the next video, we'll start that by going into the tyrant. See you then.